Welcome to Lights in the City. I'm Erica Draper and I'm here with Megan Mottley. She's a magazine editor, a publisher, an author, just an entire media mogul. Megan, tell the people hi and just give me some background information on yourself. Where are you from? Where did this all start from? And just your inspiration to do so many great things that we're going to sit here and talk about today.
Hello everyone. I am born and raised in Memphis, and I've always been a writer. Probably goes back to when I was younger and I was writing on my mom's walls.
No, you didn't write on your mom's.
I drew on her walls. I was writing on her walls, and so I think my gift of writing was trying to manifest itself even at a young age. My mom has pictures of me sitting at the table with my dad, writing. He was a preacher, so he would be writing his sermons and I would be sitting there writing, and so that gift of writing has always been in me. And it took me to get to college and just basically connected with people that encouraged me to make a career out of writing, because I never thought that I could. I never had people at career days when I was in high school standing in front of me saying, hey, you can be a writer, you can publish a magazine, you can write a book. It was either doctor, lawyer, teacher. Right. So I really didn't think there was a career for me in writing. But I ended up writing for Grace magazine at the time.
And this is in college, right?
This was in college at U of M. Okay. And I hadn't quite declared my major. I was still kind of going back and forth, up in the air. And I ended up shadowing a young lady that was majoring in English, and just trying to figure out why would I major in English? And so, she ended up giving me an assignment, and I interviewed Debo's Hot Wings. They were opening up a new location for Debo, so I ended up interviewing them, and I turned in, the article to her, and I didn't think anything of it, because she called me and said, "Great job, you've done a great job." But it's still, I had always heard that in high school. Every paper that I wrote, I heard "great job," But it wasn't until I saw my name in the magazine in print that it clicked, and I realized that was such an easy process. Compared to me struggling through a pre-med program. So that was that was my wake-up call.
That came natural, and that was your defining moment.
It was my defining moment.
That this is what
this is what I want to do. And so I declared my major as English. I minored in journalism. I ended up writing for the Daily Helmsman, which is the newspaper for the University of Memphis. And I basically interned for every publication that I could intern for. I would have swept the floors. If it was a magazine, I wanted to be in there. Yes.
So tell us some of the places that that interned that turned you into this creative, writer, to be able to put all these things on paper and do it. What are some of the, places or where you gained those experiences?
It definitely Grace magazine. There was a publication called Memphis Daily Entertainment News. It was like the Memphis Flyer before Memphis Flyer came out. It was very similar to that publication. It was just a lot of Christian publications, just several different magazines that have actually come and gone, so a lot of names I can't even remember because they've just come and gone off the scene. And so eventually having Proud magazine was another magazine that was that I had the privilege to work, because it was like from the ground up. It was a grassroots publication, so I was able to see how everything started with the publication. And once I did that, I realized, okay, I think I could do this. I think I know you know, the ins and outs. And I always tell young people, you know, sometimes you have to volunteer in some places, sometimes you have to do things where you're not making a lot of money, because I worked in every position that a magazine, from editor, copywriter, I even was an account executive at one point.
Wow.
Before I even got into the writing at one publication, I was selling advertisement. So I just, whatever I could do, you know, to understand the industry, I wanted to immerse myself in it. And so eventually, it was probably like 2000 or so, I started working toward my own publication.
And that's Divine, right?
Mm-hmm, Divine Magazine.
And before the cameras start rolling, you described that to me as your baby.
Yes.
So what were some of the steps, some of the ideas that you just put all in front of you? Like, how did you, you know, decide that this is what I'm going to do,
Mm-hmm.
this is what I'm going to include in it? And, you know, these are some of the things that I want people to know and to read.
I knew I wanted a positive magazine. I wanted an inspirational magazine, because in college, when I was studying journalism, they're always talking to you about finding your niche. And another thing they always taught us was the magazines flop within the first 5 years.
Yeah.
And so I had to be very strategic in terms of what I wanted my publication, what my genre would be. And I felt like in Memphis, we didn't hear a lot of positive news. There was so many wonderful people doing awesome things in this city, and I wanted to be able to highlight those people in a way, like in a publication that looked amazing, that could stand right next to some of those top national publications that I grew up on, Essence and Ebony. I wanted it to have that look, but I also wanted it to be something for Memphis and something positive. And also because, you know, I'm a Christian, I grew up preacher's daughter, I wanted it to also have that foundation. Christian, that, you know, that positive biblical principles to it as well, without a person thinking, oh, I don't even want to pick that up, because they look at the cover and it looks like this is not something I want to read. And so I had all these, you know, those ideas that I was trying to put it into a package. And so I was able to come up, you know, with the name Divine, and, you know, the way it looked, the people who contributed to the publication, the way, you know, my photographers worked with me and how we laid it out. It all came together, and it definitely was an inspirational publication that not only spotlighted men and women in the Memphis area, but I was able to make connections with celebrities and people that were just doing amazing things just all over.
And where can people find Divine? And I know you mentioned that everything is turning digital now.
Yes.
And so how, I mean, when I go home and crawl up in my bed at night with my iPad, where do I go to find it and to, you know, read about it?
You can go to divinemagazineonline.com.
Okay.
And we have a lot of our back issues that you can go on and download and read, because I always made sure that the articles that we did were timeless pieces.
Right.
So, you know, there are articles that even though it's, you know, years prior, you can still go and get inspired. And we also have contributing bloggers now who basically keep the magazine going. It's basically powered by bloggers at this point. And, you know, just being able to give, I remember when I was in a place where I needed a platform, where I needed to get published. I needed to get published, and I needed to get my name out there. And so, you know, around 2010, we were really faced with the whole digital wave coming along. And so I struggled because I started out as a print publication.
Right.
And we launched out to Nashville. We were in other cities. Like, we were just really doing the print thing. 2010 hit. Everybody's on their iPads, and I was like, what am I going to do? Am I going to do print? And so now we're fully digital, but those bloggers that are up and coming, that are where I was, you know, years ago in college, like, okay, I think I want to do journalism. You know, they get an opportunity to write and build. We used to call it building our clips. I don't know if they even still say that now, but, you know, just being able to give them that platform to share and have something to show someone that they end up writing for or working for.
Well, coming up after the break, we're going to have more with Miss Megan Mottley. Stay tuned on Lights in the City. I'm Erica Draper.
name is Raya Wooten, and we would love to have you as a guest on Lights in the City. If you're a business owner, have an organization, or have upcoming events, we would love to hear your story. Go to l3television.com for more details.
Welcome back to Lights in the City. If you're just joining us, I'm Erica Draper, along with media mogul Megan Mottley. And Megan, I know we already talked about a little bit, about your magazine, Devon, but I want to get into your book, Glamour Girl. And something that's really cool about the book, you can't just read it. There's some work that you have to put into it. There's worksheets, there's goals that need to be met. And just tell me how you came up with this and, what is it about?
So after doing the magazine, I didn't realize that I had a book inside of me, but I ended up writing a book and published it in 2011. And in the magazine industry, you're only as good as your last issue. So I didn't want to write a book that women would read and just put back on the shelf and never look at it again. Yeah, and so I decided to create an entire movement around it. So that's how the Glamour Girl movement website came along, and it basically provided women access to order the book and access to me for speaking engagements and things like that. But it also led to coaching and meetup events and activities with young ladies and just all sorts of things. And so I wanted women to basically go to that website on a daily basis, because we're dealing with things on a daily basis.
Right.
And so I wanted the Glamour Girl movement to just be a platform for women to connect with other women that could, lift them up and encourage them on a daily basis.
And being that it's so geared towards women, is there a specific, age group that should be reading the book or age group that shouldn't, or, what's the appropriate limit?
Well, I wrote it for women ages 18 to 34, but once the book came out, I would get, I guess because it's called Glamour Girl, a lot of teachers thought, oh, this is for girls. And so I was like, well, okay. And Glamour Girl was actually my sorority, my line name with the sorority I'm a part of. So that's where Glamour Girl came from. But ultimately, it came from my mom always taught us as her daughters, it doesn't matter how good you look on the outside. If you have a nasty attitude, if you're out here not representing me well, then there's nothing cute about that. And so that's who I am. That's something I was taught as a child, and it followed me to college with getting the name Glamour Girl. And then I decided this is what I want to teach other women, because a lot of women have low self-esteem. They're looking the part, but they're really empty inside, and they don't have a purpose. And so that actually does speak to young ladies, to younger ladies, even though I wrote the book for 18 to 34. When teachers and guidance counselors would call me to come and speak to the younger girls, I was actually able to tailor the message to girls. I think I've spoken to groups of girls as young as 6.
Wow.
And then it would go up to there. And because in the book I talk about makeup, because I love makeup. I always grew up around makeup, and my mom would always teach us that balance. That's actually what the book is about. It breaks down every facet of the makeup process, and then it talks about, it gives it practical applications as well, and so spiritual and practical applications. So with my younger girls, it was also a way for me to talk to them about when it's too soon to wear makeup and what you need to be thinking about when you're wearing makeup, and all that type of stuff, and talking to them about setting goals and thinking about their future, and don't grow up too fast, because this is what it's all involved in it. So so it has actually reached girls as young as 6 to, of course, women up in their 60s, because even as my mom has gotten older, I have to tell her, Mom, keep dreaming, like it's still, your kids are grown now, so now you're in a different place and you can still dream. So I've been able to encourage girls and women of all ages with the book.
And I know you mentioned beforehand that one of the things that was really cool about it, that you kept track of everyone who had the book and went online and, participated in events. You kept track of their goals. So, what are some of the ways that you did that? And, what were some of these goals that these ladies, set to fulfill?
Well, with the coaching, I had a lot of ladies that were wanting to start businesses, who wanted to write books, and I am such an encourager. I had a lot of people that did not help me along the way, like with my magazine and with my book and things like that. And I just always vowed that if I get to a certain point and somebody wants to know something I've learned and I've obtained, I want to share and I want to help. So I had women that wanted to start businesses, write books, or just be better in whatever role it was, whether it was in the community or in their home. I had a young lady, she wanted to focus on her image and things like that. So in that coaching program, I basically held them accountable. If you said you wanted to write a book, then you had to produce so many chapters. Like each month, there was so many things you had to get done, whatever it was you were striving for. And we talked about worksheets. Writing for me is therapeutic. And so in the back of the Glamour Girl book, there's questionnaires and there's worksheets where you have to, talk about who's in your life holding you accountable, or where do you see yourself a year from now, 5 years from now? What are you doing to get to that point? After the book, I started getting into ebooks, with the digital wave. And so my ebooks are filled with worksheets and things that basically make you look in that mirror and say, okay, this is what I want to do, and this is how. Because we're going to do it. Yeah, because we're always told, okay, hey, this is what you can do, but we're never often given the tools
to produce.
This is how I'm going to get those things done.
Definitely. So how accessible, are these classes if someone was interested in signing up, today after seeing this, wonderful interview? What are the resources that are available to them? How do they find it? Or, just ways to reach out to you?
They can go to MeganMottley.com, and it basically has all of my websites. So if people are interested in the magazine, if they're interested in the Glamour Girl movement, then they can go to MeganMottley.com, and it will basically guide them to whatever it was they would be interested in. Exactly.
And I know you mentioned that you didn't have a lot of resources, coming up and deciding what you want to do. So do you accept interns, or, how do young women or even young men that are interested in this field get involved and, get their hands on something? Or, what are some of the things that they can do to learn the ropes and the steps that you've taken?
I'm always looking for writers with Divine, so they can definitely reach out to me if there's someone out there who is gifted as a writer, or they feel like they want to try their hands at writing. We always have editors, so a lot of times people are like, well, I can't write that well, but it's that editing piece that they are afraid of. But if you can write a couple of paragraphs, we can, tweak it and make it, say what it was you were trying to say. And like you said, definitely learn as you go. I love the younger generation of writers that are coming along, because they all have that social media, digital, technological piece to them, and that actually adds to what we're doing with Divine Magazine online, since we've moved away from the print. And so I'm always looking for writers that whatever it is, because I feel like everyone has a story and everyone has some area that they want to share. So we're always, as long as it's inspirational, even if it's spotlighting somebody that's doing something amazing, people just like, I just want to share, something about somebody that's doing something great in my neighborhood. We're always looking for
So you're like the print version of us.
Yes, because, people need hope. Like at the end of the day, people need hope, and they need to look at people that look like them, that sound like them, that, I love reading, about people's journeys because it inspires me. And so I just basically want to be a platform to give people hope.
Definitely. Well, coming up after the break, we're going to be talking about some tasty treats. Stay with us.
My name is Raya Wooten. Make sure you tune into Lights in the City on Sundays at 5 p.m. on Comcast Channel 31.
Welcome back to Lights in the City. I'm Erica Draper, along with media mogul Megan Mottley. And aside from writing and publishing magazines, she's a cookiepreneur. How did you come up with this big cookie enterprise? Where did this all derive from?
Well, I've always baked. Even as a teenager, I baked. And when I became a single mom, I gave cookies away as gifts. It was my way of being able to give gifts in a cost-effective way. And with doing the magazine, with doing books and speaking engagements, I really had gotten away from baking. And so my daughter had been taking Japanese since 6th grade, and she had an opportunity last year to go to Japan on a mission trip. And I just knew that I had to make that happen. I didn't know how. We sat and planned all types of fundraisers because we had 2 months to raise $3,500.
Wow.
And I had no idea how I was going to
make that happen.
to do that. And so our first fundraiser totally flopped. And so my daughter was just looking so sad, and I was like, I gotta make this happen. And so I said, I'll make cookies and just sort of recoup what we would have made from this first fundraiser.
Right.
And so the backup plan became the master plan, because we raised over $5,000 in less than 8 weeks off of these cookies. And so for 2 months, when I was doing the fundraiser and getting the cookies all out to people were saying to me, when they would taste the cookies, they were like, you need to keep this going. And I'm thinking, no, you all, I'm already doing everything already. I cannot do cookies now. And so I prayed to God. I was like, God, I'm going to give this 6 months. I'm not going into 2017 with cookies. And so month 6, I ended up getting the hugest order of my life. With a local corporation here, ordered cookies for all of their employees for Christmas. And because that was month 6, and it was something I had in a personal conversation with God, and he moved like, okay. And that's when I decided to make a business out of it. And so I have been baking cookies ever since.
So do you bake them every day or every other day?
Every day. The orders have not stopped rolling. I started baking 2016, the end of February. I have not, it's going on a year. The orders are still rolling in every day.
And what kind of are they? Chocolate chip?
Chocolate chip, oatmeal raisin. And so I've had so many different variations because I have customers who they're allergic to chocolate. So I'll do an oatmeal toffee walnut, or I'll have people that are like,
fancy.
Whatever my customers want. Can you make this? If it's chocolate chip based or oatmeal based, I can do it. I've done peanut butter, so I'm constantly adding
flavors,
different flavors.
What about have you tried like the strawberry ones or something, like the little pink ones?
I'm working on a strawberry.
Like one person make those.
I'm working on something for Valentine's Day. So
when you do,
so I'm open. Whatever my customers suggest, I will definitely try it. And usually when I try something, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm making it with love, and so then you're adding different components and trying different things to help, because like I ended up developing a gluten-free cookie because I had a lady, she was like, my daughter has peanut allergies, and so I couldn't use just regular flour, I couldn't use regular chocolate chips because all of those things are prepared in factories with tree nuts and different types of nuts. So I ended up creating the gluten-free cookie, and it has been a hit. Wow. Because other people are eating healthy or other people have allergies, and so just adding things, as needed and making it work.
Now, Megan, you make so many great cookies with all these wonderful, mouth-watering flavors. Have you received any recognition for them, or, taking it further than just baking them?
Well, I did last year decide to enter my cookies into the Delta Fair. They have all these different competitions, which I've gone to over the years just to observe and see who won. So I said, I'll enter my cookies. And so my oatmeal cookies placed first place in their category. So I was so excited.
Definitely.
Yes.
So how many of them did you make?
I only did 2. I did plain oatmeal, and I did actually, and it's so funny, my original cookie, which is my ultimate oatmeal raisin. It's oatmeal, cranberries, chocolate chips.
Oh, that sounds delicious.
Pecans. So
now that one, I don't like raisins, but now that one I could probably eat.
You would love it. It's so good.
And is that your signature?
I would say, because Delta Fair said, hey, first place. So
and so what do you call it?
It's called the ultimate oatmeal raisin.
Okay.
So it's like a grown-up cookie. Yes.
Put your orders in while you still can.
Yes.
So how do people place orders, or, do you have a list of things, the flavors that you sell, or, where can they find out all the information because I'm about ready to put my order. So my dough's in the chocolate chip.
Yes. So what I decided to do, because I was able to help my daughter raise money for her mission trip, and we ended up helping 3 other people raise money.
Yeah.
Another person was going to Japan, and 2 other young ladies were going to Peru. I wanted to create awareness about mission trips. So the website is cookiesformissions.com, because we help other people fundraise. We help people, local organizations, or even global missions. Exactly. And so that's the website, cookiesformissions.com, COOKIESFOR, missions with an S.com. And that's where you can go and see all the different options and place your order. And we deliver,
I was going to say, do you deliver, or how do we pick them up?
We ship, all of that.
What more can you ask for?
Yes.
Let's just be honest.
And it's, made from scratch.
Is it just for mission trips, or do you help out the basketball moms and the cheer moms and the soccer moms, and then, where they can do their fundraiser as teams and you get your profit, they pay off their trips or competitions or, whatever it may be.
Yes.
So you're just the whole nine.
We've done fundraisers with cheerleaders. A lot of nonprofit organizations have different initiatives and things they're raising funds for. So basically anything with a worthy cause,
you're willing to help.
I'm willing to help, yes.
And I have to ask, is it just you in the kitchen with this hot oven, or is somebody helping you?
It is me, but I also have a lot of wonderful support from family and friends. I come from a long line of bakers. My mom baked, both of my grandmothers baked, so it's been in me all along. Right. I just was sort of putting it on hold, and I said God knew that if I was going to go hard for anybody, I would go hard for my daughter. And it has turned into, this enterprise. It's just been amazing. So.
And you told me before she even went on the mission trip to Japan, she already spoke Japanese fluently. So how just amazing was that? Just like a sign of light for you to be able to make that happen.
It was amazing. It was just a great opportunity for her to see that you have the audacity to dream big. Like, you can do it. Like, you can think, I speak Japanese, I can go to Japan. And since and she was actually over there helping the other people on her team translate, because she was the only one in the group that was fluent in Japanese. So here you have, she was 14 at the time. Wow. So you have a 14-year-old over there helping them and translating. They couldn't even believe that she was as young as she was, translating and speaking to them so well. And so it has just broadened her horizon. Since she's come back home, she's just like, I want to go here, I want to go there. So it was an amazing opportunity.
All started from cookies.
All started from that one failure. I always tell people, sometimes you fail, sometimes you mess up, but that failure actually, pushed us into something doing better. The cookies. Yes. So that's how it all happened.
Well, that's going to do it for us today. I really enjoyed you, Miss Megan Mottley.
Thank you for having
so me. Inspiring and, motivational, and just letting, as coming from a woman, to know that this is possible. And I can't thank you enough for joining me here today on Lights in the City. Thanks for watching.